Hello everyone. Thank you very much to the organizers. Thank you for having me here. And I would like to take my time to give the standpoint of the institution that I represent. It's the European Investment Bank. Even more so in light of the recent events that the Trump administration withdrew from the Green Deal. What is important to acknowledge is that we stand behind the deal and we fully support it, even more so now. And the European Investment Bank is the biggest, or one of the biggest lenders to climate and environmental sustainability in the world. We were the first one to issue green bonds back in 2007 when no one was actually speaking about green investments. And to date, we have already breached the 100 billion of issuance of green bonds. So we play a more and more important role as investor in the field, and we plan to increase that going forward. That being said, back in 2019, we were asked by the European Council and the Commission to fuel up our participation in the green financing, and we became the Climate Bank of Europe. With that came roughly three engagements that we took. First, to stop financing fossil fuel. Second, to make sure that at least 50% of all our financings, annual ones, go into green transition. And third, that by the end of the decade, we would have mobilized 1 billion in the field. Now, where do we stand today? Last year, 60% of our financing went into green transition, energy security, sustainable energy, and renewable energy. That is roughly slightly more than 50 billion euro. That on its own, it's a very significant step forward. We've already surpassed the 50% that we set as a target, and we plan to stick to that 60% and potentially even increase it going forward in the years to come until the end of the decade. In terms of mobilization of the 1 trillion, we're halfway through. Roughly 560 billion have been mobilized by the European Investment Bank Group to date. Speaking about energy, also last year was a record. We've invested 30 billion in energy projects. Those 30 billion have mobilized more than 100 billion. And to give you a perspective, we're speaking about 15 million households around Europe that will be powered by clean energy. And that is a big number. And we're speaking here about energy infrastructure, energy efficiency, renewable energy, storage, even more so grid and interconnectors, which is becoming an even more important topic with increasing renewable energy. We have doubled the investments in Europe in grids and interconnectors over the course of last year. Another very important element is adaptation. Adaptation from the results out of extreme weather conditions. We have invested roughly 4.6 billion, which is almost the double of what we did the year before in adaptation. We're supporting countries in Central Eastern Europe, Spain, dealing with the consequences of the events that happened due to the bad weather conditions, extreme weather conditions. And here it's important to say that every euro invested in adaptation saves us 5 to 7 euros from costs incurred from extreme weather. Another very important topic that Ms. Pavlova touched upon is reduction of red tape and bureaucracy. Well, that is key, and we have spent a tremendous amount of time in the course of last year to reduce that, to optimize even more the green reporting, to streamline it, so that we reduce the burden on the banks, on our clients, on the companies, so that we streamline the process. We have reduced the internal approvals within the bank significantly and streamlined those approvals, and around almost 50% of our deals last year went through that process. So we are taking drastic measures in order to optimize and take an even more prominent role in the green transition financing. So to say that Europe is at the crossroads is clearly right. Only if we look where our current policies are leading us is to roughly 3.1 degrees of increase in temperature compared to our target of 1.5 that was in the Paris Agreement. And Europe is the fastest warming continent on the planet. So we have the biggest incentive out of everyone to move forward. And we certainly have the capacity. We have proven it. We have the knowledge. We have the technology. We have the financial resources. So definitely we will have to find a way forward, continuing the decarbonization strategy, while at the same time maintaining the competitiveness of our economies. Thank you very much.